The Egyptian king. Scratch that. Manchester City have got a new Egyptian prince.
Manchester City, can you sum up how excited you are to join this football club?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here. I'm really excited. I can't wait to get on the pitch, meet the teammates and start my journey with the club.
You've made a terrific impact on the pitch over the last couple of seasons in particular.
Omar Marmoush, the €70 million signing from Eintracht Frankfurt, represents a new dimension for Manchester City. He's not just got a new name in attack, he brings plenty to this Manchester City side. But what if I told you guys, City's signing Omar Marmoush is Pep's idea of trying to build a model of a player he mistakenly let go. Omar Marmoush's career so far is the story of a man who's determined to make it, no matter what. But before we get into how he became Manchester City's latest attacking acquisition, just a quick heads up. At Kicks with Seb, we're making it our goal to bring you quality videos like this, and we need you to hit that subscribe button to the channel to help us reach that wider audience. Thanks. Omar Marmoush was born in Cairo, Egypt on February the 7th, 1999, and from early on, the Egyptian knew he was bound for football. In his words, he was never that good at school, so it became clear to him that if he was going to succeed in life, he just had to make it in football. No other option. The only problem with this was his parents. See, Omar Marmoush's parents believed the best route for him making it big was through getting a proper education. School, that is, but Marmoush was determined to make it. So he spent hours training and developing his skills with the Cairo American International School, where he'd study during the day and train right after. And pretty soon, his parents caught the memo. The kid was bound to play football. So rather than try and stop him, they decided to support him by helping him pursue his dream. Now, the real challenge was on for Marmoush. It's one thing to dream of becoming a footballer, and it's an entirely different thing to be able to make it as one. But the talent and the dedication he was putting into every training session, Marmoush soon got his first big break. The Egyptian club, Wadi Degla SC, soon had scouts watching Omar Marmoush, and they were so impressed with what they'd seen, they decided to recruit him into the club's academy. After 3 goals and 1 assist in 18 games, Marmoush soon realized he was about to go continental. He got called up to the Egyptian under-20 squad for the African Cup of Nations under-20 tournament that year, but the competition as a whole was a mixed bag for Marmoush. Egypt failed to make any real progress in the competition. They finished 3rd in their group. 2 draws and a defeat to the eventual winners Zambia meant they got knocked out. But on his part, Marmoush had impressed so much that foreign scouts watching the competition took note. One of them was Wolfsburg, and pretty soon they identified Marmoush as a talent that could become very useful to the club in the future. And just like that, Marmoush was off to Germany. Getting into a new country and a new league though, Marmoush struggled to adapt. He found the weather tough, the food different, the culture, and in the end, he had to grind his way up through the youth team and the reserves. But this didn't affect his morale in any way. Marmoush started making an impression in the Wolfsburg reserves, particularly the B team, and after scoring 13 goal contributions in 36 games for Wolfsburg, Marmoush was ready for the big time.
Marmoush! Absolutely outstanding from Omar Marmoush!
He made his debut in the 4-1 win over Bayer Leverkusen in 2020. From everything we've covered above, you can see this was quite the journey for Marmoush to get to this stage. But he was only getting started and knew there was still a lot more to be achieved ahead. The problem though, that by the next season, Marmoush struggled for game time. It was so bad that even making the bench on match days became an issue. And in the end, to help him grow and develop, both parties came to an agreement. Marmoush was willing to grow, and the club wanted him to as well. So they sent him out on a 6-month loan to St. Pauli. And at his new team, he did quite all right.
Ja, Omar, herzlich willkommen am Millern-Tor. Wir freuen uns, dich hier zu begrüßen. Als allererstes, was sind deine Gründe, zu uns zu wechseln?
Also auf jeden Fall, man kennt St. Pauli schon lange. Ich habe gegen St. Pauli schon öfters gespielt in der U23 und in der letzten Zeit habe ich nicht so oft gespielt bei VfL Wolfsburg.
7 goals and 3 assists in 21 games for St. Pauli, an average of a goal every 3 games. Impressive stuff. And it had in turn also showed the player and the club what could happen to Marmoush if he continued to get more game time. By the 2021-22 season, Marmoush was out on loan again, this time for the whole season. the first big test of his career. Stuttgart was in the Bundesliga too, meaning Marmoush was going to experience his first season as a pro in a top European league. He did okay too. I mean, 3 goals and 5 assists, 8 goal contributions in 21 games weren't exactly numbers that stood out, but then again, in his first full season, there was reason to believe that he would only get better. He'd been Bundesliga Rookie of the Month twice that season too. It was also in the 2021-22 season that Marmoush made his debut for the Egyptian national team, and he couldn't have dreamed of a more perfect debut. I'll show you in a second, but just in case you missed it earlier, that subscribe button to Kicks with Seb is still active if you haven't clicked it yet.
عرضية حلو يلا مرموش يلا مرموش ومرموش هوبا الله الله الله.
The winner against Libya on debut, Marmoush has arrived, and back to the club scene now, his parent team was ready to make a full chance on him. At the start of the 2022-23 season, Wolfsburg decided that Marmoush had enough loan spells. They wanted to keep him at the club this time and give him an extended run in the team. In turn, what happened next was that Marmoush got minutes. He played 36 times for Wolfsburg in the 2022-23 campaign, but something wasn't quite right. See, guys, I'm not necessarily talking about goals now. Marmoush looked a better player whenever he played for Egypt than when he did for Wolfsburg. And the reason was very simple: playing style. It didn't quite suit him the way the game was played at Wolfsburg. And with his contract at the club coming to an end, Marmoush knew if he really wanted to hit the big heights in his career, it was time to take the next big step. And that's what he did. He joined the winners of the 2022-23 Europa League, Eintracht Frankfurt. To say that Marmoush had a successful debut season at Frankfurt would be putting it mildly. For a player who hadn't managed more than 7 goals in any of the seasons we mentioned earlier, he hit 17 that season, and in big games too. A brace against Borussia Dortmund, a goal and 2 assists in the 5-1 trashing of Bayern, even scored against his former team Wolfsburg, and grabbed Frankfurt's goal in the 1-1 draw with Leipzig. Marmoush had impressed, and now it was time to see if he'd been able to replicate the same feats in the current season. And it's safe to say he's more than done it. To put the first half of his 2024-25 season into perspective, if the season somehow ended now, with everything he's managed to achieve, Omar Marmoush would be a Ballon d'Or nominee. That's how good he's been. He managed 17 goals in the last season. It's January 2025, and he's already got 20 goals in all competitions for Frankfurt this season, beating his goal tally from the previous campaign. It's not just the goals, it's the assists too. 14 in all competitions. That's 34 goal contributions in 26 games for Frankfurt. Absolutely ridiculous. Pep Guardiola and Manchester City must know they've got a player on their hands now. What makes Omar Marmoush so good? The first thing has to be his versatility. He's so efficient that he can play anywhere across the front 3, be it out wide, down the middle, heck, he can even play as a number 8 if he needs to. Plus, when he's on red hot form, there's no stopping him. In his opening 12 games in the Bundesliga this season, he had at least a goal or a goal contribution in 9 different games. That versatility, to be able to play anywhere across the front 3, is something Pep Guardiola will need this season. We've seen the City manager complain about the number of injuries to his team. In attack, players like Jeremy Doku, Jack Grealish, and Savino, all at one point of the season have faced spells with injury and left the attack options very limited. He brings goals too. That's another key aspect of his game Guardiola will need as well. Erling Haaland is Manchester City's top scorer in the Premier League with 17 goals this season. If we take out his goals, the player with the next amount of goals for this City is Phil Foden with 6. Phil Foden has had a very disappointing start to his season and only recently started bagging goals at the start of the year. After these two, third on the list, or joint third I should say, would be Joško Vardiol and Mateo Kovacic, both on 4 each. See the disparity? City hasn't got enough goals and attacking options, and that's been a worry for Pep. They're creating chances, but they haven't got the killer instincts to finish them as they once did. If Haaland doesn't score, there's no guarantee anyone else could. Omar Marmoush certainly promises a lot. Now, I did say at the start of the video that Pep signing Marmoush might be linked to the fact that he's trying to build the 2.0 of a player he once had and he'd probably regret letting go. And this wouldn't be wrong.
New blood coming in at Manchester City now, Mark. We've seen that Omar Marmoush has signed for them. We knew that was going to happen. What's he going to bring this City? Is he going to solve some of their problems?
Well,
it helps Haaland, you know. He might make it a little bit easier for Haaland to get more goals. And I kind of said, I think most of his goals came at the start of the season, so he had dried up a little bit. But I think he does what Julian Alvarez did. I think he just kind of gives City a different option, takes a marker away from Haaland maybe. Just something that they haven't had. They've been very over-reliant on Haaland this year because they were very thin up front, but obviously stayed fit. I think he's played every game, nearly every minute of the game. So he's really run his race this year, Haaland. He needs a rest, he needs a break, and Marmoush gives him that. Just give him the chance to vary the tactics, take the heat off Haaland a little bit. We don't know if he's going to be...
That's what Omar Marmoush is being billed as now. The next to Julian Alvarez, possibly. The similarities are, well, very similar. Both can score goals and provide assists. The key to this also is that both can play in multiple positions across the pitch, and both can play in different formations and setups if they have to. It'll be very interesting to watch Omar Marmoush at Manchester City for 70 million euros. His signing certainly doesn't come cheap, and he'd be hoping he can quickly get off the mark to repay that transfer fee. What do you think about Omar Marmoush though? Is he that good? Worth the hype? Bound to fail in the Premier League? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video too.